Hello YouTube, this is Richard, founder of shorttermrentalsecrets.com and Airbnb Superhost. Look, one of the things that I recommend as a host is to go and actually stay in Airbnbs and check it out, because I think you can learn not only from the best practices, but also from the little mistakes that others make. So I actually just got back from an Airbnb Upstate New York near Woodstock. A friend of mine invited me up and I took the opportunity to get out of the city and go check it out. And I want to share with you some of the things that I learned, and hopefully you'll find them interesting and beneficial to you. So the first thing I thought was amazing about the property was the design and the aesthetic. Here we were in an antique old barn, but it had a really eclectic mix of modern influence and furniture, and it was wide open and just really cool. The bathrooms were exceptional. And so just from a design perspective, kudos to the host there. And I think it photographed really well. It probably gets a lot of attention. People want to stay there, and that sort of barn with modern open space in historic town is kind of cool and different. And so I think that they did that really well, and it probably drives a lot of revenue in their pocket with people wanting to stay in that sort of unique experience. Second thing I think these hosts did exceptionally well was they put together a really beautiful guidebook. Now the content was spot on. It walked you through where the local coffee shops are and the activities from swimming to hiking to biking and grocery stores and post office, and all the content was spot on. So therefore super helpful for anybody staying and new to the area. But more importantly, the thing that really resonated with me and was eye-opening was it was beautiful. They took the time and energy to make this like a beautifully designed guidebook. The design and the aesthetic and the graphic design was really, really beautiful. And it just sends a very subliminal message to somebody, which is like, we care about you, we care about our home, we pay attention to all the details, we want you to enjoy. And so after looking at that guidebook, personally, I know I can improve mine, and I'm going to do exactly that. The third thing I found really helpful was they took the time and energy to use a label maker and labeled all of the different lights, and then some of the accessories, such as like the heat in the system, and said it was heat only, or this was radiant. They have an AirPlay speaker so that you could listen to music, and they told you what the Wi-Fi name was on the unit, and I'll share photos with you. But somebody's walking in to your home, they've never been there before, they have no idea what the light switch is, what the heat is, how to get the AirPlay working, what the wireless is. And so I think taking the time and energy in a very discreet fashion so that it's not like, glaring and bold and detracting, but just helpful, was super helpful. So let's contrast that with some of the things I think that they could have done better, and there's room for improvement. The labels were super helpful when they were intended to help the guest. The labels could be considered obtrusive and a detraction from the comfort of staying in your home when it's purely to help the host. So think about whether the label is there to help the guest or whether it's there to help you. And I understand that we all have had septic issues and people that have flooded, the shower and so on and so forth. But this is one of the risks that you take. And if you don't see these labels either at hotels that you stay at or in your friends' homes when you go over there for a dinner party, then it's probably inappropriate to have them in your home as you welcome guests from all over the world, even though it may be important to you. The second thing, and this is much more minor, but one of our members of our party sort of mentioned it, it would be nice to have a little bit more privacy landscape between the house and the road. Privet hedge or whatever hedge, but at the end of the day, realize that there's guests and they may not feel that comfortable with either the neighbors or the people driving by, and so try and put yourself in their shoes and think, gee, would it be nice to have a little bit more privacy from the main road or from our neighbors? Generally speaking, the answer is yes. And the third thing is really just a personal decision and a liability issue. They had a really beautiful wood-burning fireplace that we took advantage of and totally enjoyed. So it's a great perk as a guest, and I love that. However, as a host, I may not have that open and available to guests who, who knows? They may have never lit a fire in their life. They may put 7 million pieces of wood in there and burn the whole house down. You just have no idea and you're not around, right? So just like you assume that people are comfortable with like no privacy, you should also assume the opposite, which is people have no clue how to take care of a fireplace and they might burn your house down. So that's a personal decision. I understand the benefits. They probably get some bookings because of the fireplace, but I don't really care about $400 a night. I care about the long-term nature of this business, and I kind of need my house to be intact and not burned down. And not to mention human danger, right? Like the last thing I want is people passing out or carbon monoxide, or they don't open the flue. I mean, it's just filled with risk and not something that I would personally take, and don't recommend that any of the viewers here take it. So in closing, I really encourage all of us hosts to stay in other host homes and learn and photograph what you think is best and share with our community. We can all do things better and enjoy other people's homes. So this was really eye-opening. I'm going to personally improve my guidebook and all of my different properties. I'm going to start labeling some of the things that are more difficult to find, like some of the lights can be challenging, so I'm going to incorporate that. And I hope you found this helpful. Go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're going to be making many more of these kinds of videos at Airbnbs and villas as we travel around, and hope you enjoyed it. Share it with a friend, and in the meantime, happy hosting. Have a great day.